that you've?
Oh, one of my favorites is one I've learned from another improv group I've seen on TikTok, which is like I call it. They didn't really have a name for it, but I like to call it time remote control.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
And I'm Old Man Raptor, and our guest is...
Switzerlad.
Oh, thank you very much for joining us, Switzerlad. It's an absolute pleasure being able to meet you for the
Yeah,
first
Of
time.
course.
yeah, that's
It's
appreciated.
nice to meet you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you do here in the virtual world?
Well, at first, when I first joined VRChat, I was just out here trying to figure out how the virtual works. I didn't have a VR first, so I was just mostly in desktop. So I was just exploring all the possibilities VRChat had, making some friends, uh, joining worlds, having fun, and yeah, and for sure it has just been going with hanging out, and even now I've with the friends that I've made in this community that I've re-established or other communities that I have seen. I just hang out or, well, do these workshops and shows, and that's probably it now with what I'll do here in VRChat.
Wow. So, question for me: what is skitsnbits, and
hmm
how did that get started?
Well, skitsnbits is an improv community. And how it started is that before Skitsnbits, there was another community called GIE, Gobs Improv Emporium, but that unfortunately got how are we gonna say that? I had the word now, but I I forgot it. It got shut down because of some personal reasons, and we were kind of then lost. People, because this improv community that I joined before, it was very fun, and improv is something I just learned to adore after time when I joined this community, and I felt that other people were needed a new place, and that's so we made Skits and Bits, me, Wall, and Zircron banded together and created this whole new place called Skits and Bits Improv.
Wow. So, what kinds of things do you do in skitsnbits improv for people like when if they want to check you out, and what is it you're really well known
Well,
for?
we were mostly known for our weekly workshops, which are always hosted Saturday, 6 p.m. EST. And then we also have always our monthly shows, also at the same time, same day, unless it's subject to change, of course. And in our workshops, we teach different things all about improv, the basics, the fundamentals, and we also keep them very beginner friendly so that everybody can enjoy the world of improv, because improv is just, it can not help out just on the stage if you want to be an actor, but it can also improve in the real world as well. Even right now, I'm using my improv tactics to to just talk to you guys and all that stuff. And I've even heard about countless of other people that said improv has changed their life. They gained more confidence and more self-belief, and it's even in real life they also have made an impact, and it's just so amazing to see that it helps, just not in the world of acting but just everywhere else.
Wow. I had no idea that improv could have that much of an impact on people's lives. How exactly has it helped you, and how did you kind of fall in love with improv? May I ask?
Well, it helped me also a lot with confidence, because I myself, when I get on a stage, I'm in the spotlight, I'm like, oh god damn it, I'm getting like nervous, sweaty. But when using improv, you can also just like use these kind of things. You can say, okay, I'm just realizing myself, I'm just having a normal conversation with somebody. It can help me out with work, just just with like talking to the costume, to like people around there. And yeah, and how I've come to with improv myself is I just randomly was just randomly in VRChat, and I saw one of my friends in a world called like, yeah, no, go up to the Emporium. I was like, oh wow, that seems very interesting, and I was just like, let's see what he does. So I joined them, and I was basically just first watching, but then the one who created this group, this community, said that, hey, you wanna join in? You just wanna watch? It's like, you know what? It actually seems very interesting. So let me join in. And after I did some plays, and it's like, damn, this is so much fun, and I couldn't get enough of it anymore. I just wanted to do improv all the time.
So the Gob's Emporium had a big impact on you here in VR and real life.
I wouldn't just it wouldn't just not to say this, but just like all the people, because the people is what all that matters. It just doesn't have to be just the one who created it, but also the people around you. Also, of course, one that also have made me an impact, because they always had my back. Because this is also a motto that we carried on, is that we got your back. Because improv is about two people or even more, and you also want to be supportive about your partner, helping them along the way. Mistakes can be made, that's fine. Mistakes are here to be learned, for even to get better in the future. Even improv in real life, whatever is needed. The community had a very big back on me, and I'm very glad that it lives on, and the friends that I've made along the way. Yeah.
So you said earlier your motto is "We got your back." Was there a moment at which that started becoming your motto? The kind of, yeah.
Absolutely. It's like I see some people, like new people, when they come here, I can sometimes see them struggling, or they're a little bit hesitant. And I'm like, hey, don't worry. Look, if you need some time, that's all good. Or I'll just give them a little bit of advice. Hey, you should do this, or just like take a second, take a breather, take a think, because it can be overwhelming at first a little bit, and that's absolutely totally fine. And we're also, of course, here for everybody. And so if we notice that somebody is having a little hard time, we're here and saying, hey, got your back, don't worry. Or if somebody forgot a line, or they just can't do so, everybody is around us is supportive of that.
Wow. That's actually a really good thing you guys do, to be able to have each other's back and help people along. It's one of the few things that I enjoy about VR and the people that call this place home, is that exact aspect. It's been many times, like earlier on, that when I first came in here, I've noticed that, be like, oh, my headset's having a funny issue. Someone just shows up. Sounds like your problem. Here's how you fix it. And they'll be patient, and then gone. Or your friends. And I do enjoy seeing communities such as yourselves do amazing things like that and offer those kinds of events for people to attend to in that kind of atmosphere. So thank you for existing. Genuinely.
You're welcome. And I'm thanking, I also have just to say thanks for the community as well, and helping us grow with what we've become, because it's been a year and we've already achieved so many great things. We had collabs with the DPS, with Trans Academy, and that one of the biggest one was TVRS with TFM Johnny, and that was amazing. Our head exploded, and we're like, wow, a year, and we've done already such a big collabs, and so many with other communities, and we cannot wait for what is in store in the future, really.
So when you started getting this collabs as a community, how did you guys sorry, I'm trying to find my words. Really bad at this sometimes. So
all good.
No,
hey, take your time.
No, when you guys first started out in the first year and you started doing collabs and expanding, did you guys expect that kind of bop? Did you yeah. Did you guys expect
Uprising?
I know. I have this fun issue
That's all,
sometimes.
folks.
I have this fun issue where I have a bunch of thoughts at once, and then they kind of get lost. So it's not that I'm like,
I know
I'm sorry.
you. I know what you mean exactly. Hey, don't be sorry about that. Don't be sorry about that at all.
No, did you guys expect that level of reception from VRChat in the community? There we go. Those are the words I was looking for.
Well, with the DPS, we were like, okay, yeah, I mean, maybe get a little bit of the recognition because we had somebody here that was a team lead, and they were also a community of DPS, and they arranged to like, hey, maybe I can like poke a little bit of the people from this community, and maybe you can do a little collab. And then somebody else came, and it's like, okay, we're having this little small impact, and people came from these communities in here and did enjoy improv a lot. But that we actually get a collab with TVRS that was beyond imagination for us. It was something that even right now, still me boggles my mind that we have achieved this level. And with TVRS, of course, TVRS is a very well-known community, and it really has given us probably a more broadened status and more well-known abroad the space of VRChat. Yeah.
What were some of those collabs like? How did you guys collab with other communities? When may I ask?
It was mostly just like workshop collabs. So we had like a few off collabs, like in like other days and time for like the DPS. I think it was mostly in the week. These collabs were a bit a long time ago, but it was mostly just workshops. Hey, look, that's what we do. We do these workshops, and that's and also the DPS is of course an RP community, and what you learn into improv can also be taken into RP as well, and heighten it more, make it get more knowledge about it. And even with the Trans Academy, it was like we wanted to give them also a bit of an insight what we do and about improv as well. And with TVRS, it was most likely more like a show collab because it was like a murder mystery. TFM Johnny died, and we needed to figure, and everybody that was here, even as an attendee, needed to figure out who was the murderer. And it was just like so great to see everybody like get together, figuring out all these snits and pieces, get the evidences to then finally figure out who murdered Johnny.
Oh, so it was like a VR
Johnny.
experience. Oh,
Johnny took a bullet and didn't know who pulled the trigger.
He was
wasn't a
poisoned,
bullet,
exactly.
Johnny.
He was poisoned.
It was. Oh,
He was
okay.
poisoned.
That's your fault, dumbass. Don't drink the shit, Johnny. That's all the fucking straight point.
Oh, no.
Don't drink the crap that's served to you. That's easy to fucking figure out.
Raptor, you should use your
Well,
manners a little bit. Don't just say it's your fault, dumbass. You gotta be a little nice about it.
It was me. It was me.
singing
They
quite
just
a
didn't
lot.
see
He
me.
needed a
They
drink.
didn't see
He needed
me,
a
man. I come in,
drink.
poisoned him, and ran out. And it wasn't my fault. I was holding the sign said, "Yeah, I poisoned Johnny," and nobody paid attention. You know how it is when you de-squill, nobody pays attention.
I mean, Johnny's got charm. Everybody's kind of like then focused on him, you know.
Oh, now you know why they put Johnny out of his misery. Too much charm, too much cockiness. Yeah, that'll bite you in the ass every time, doesn't
no.
it? Yeah. Hey, at least you didn't say he got hit by a car. Pushed him out in front of traffic and watched him get hit by the car. Who was the asshole? I don't know. It was a crowd of people. We don't know who it was. It was, sorry, it was in a subway. Oh, I tripped him. Sorry. Whoops. Yeah. I'm a violent person. No, I'm not. I'm just joking.
You're a chaotic person, Raptor. That's what you are.
Well, logically look at it, see, it would be my fault in a way, Ryan. If he was in the front of a subway and he tripped over it because nobody pays attention, he would fall in front of the train. So it would be my fault, right?
I apologize ahead of time, Johnny, for my friend Sears' weird sense of humor.
Oh. I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm just joking. Don't even know who you are. I hope you survived. Maybe they just.
Are you having?
Oh, fun fact.
Sorry.
I don't think Raptor has seen a whole lot of from things like TVRS or TFM Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Raptor here's a bit on the older
no.
side.
I'm on the older
You
side.
definitely
Sorry.
look into both of them. TVRS is a great community, and TFM Johnny is just a content creator that makes very great. His singing voice is amazing. I mean, I watched
yeah.
it live
Now I gotta
there,
eat crow.
and
Fuck, now I gotta eat crow. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep, my bad, my ass. Didn't know who the person was. Whoops, my bad. Eek. Oh my god, I thought it was just some Johnny off the street corner. My bad, my bad, my bad.
Oh no.
Sorry, Johnny.
So, what kinds of things do you guys
Oh,
expect
boy.
to do as a community going forward?
Oh, that is a very good question, really. We just probably think we just want to keep going with what we do, just workshop, keep bringing more people into the world of improv. We still have a lot to do left. We have a few things, probably not for the next year, but I mean, what we just also keep going is the shows, the workshop, and also the skits that we do, of course. And that's how skits is a bit prof, because we also do the skits. Our first one was one that we did before was the dream jobs. Then we did a very, very big quote unquote skit, more like a short film, which was the meatball heist. It was supposed to be just it's like a harmless 2-minute skit, but no, it went over to like 35 minutes. Then at the long shot.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, that's probably the first and last time we did something this big. I mean, hey, it was great. People loved it. People enjoyed it. It was shown in the Project Film Festival, and people were loving it. They had so much fun, and we even saw like a lot of people there attending. It was like, damn, and we heard all this laughter and smiles that were probably behind their VRs. And it was just like a bliss, and it was just great. But now we're just gonna keep it very short. It's probably still 10-15 minutes and not to the 30 minutes long, but hopefully 10 is probably the maximum.
I'm curious now. I'm curious, what the frick is fucking the meatball heist? What the hell is that?
The meatball heist. Well,
Explain,
the meatball
please.
heist. How the plot of the meatball heist is like there's a cook. It's about the diner and this and the owner of this diner. He doesn't get a lot of customers, so like this shitty person comes up and is like, hey, I know a very good recipe for some meatballs, so we can steal this from this one location, and then you'll probably get some more customers, because I see you only got 2 people here, and that's kind of sad, you know. It's very amazing. I would definitely recommend you to watch it in our YouTube.
We most
Skits and
definitely
Bits
will.
YouTube, and it's amazing.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
If you're going to heist something, you're going to steal somebody's meatballs.
They're not just meatballs. They're Swedish meatballs.
Okay, Swedish, excuse me, Swedish nuts. We're going to go steal somebody's Swedish nuts.
No, Swedish meatball.
You know,
Swedish
Raptor, no.
meatballs.
Pull your head out of the gutter.
What?
It's the food, the meatball, not someone's testicles.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't that be bull fries?
Oh, God.
Okay. I got a question for you. Get off the subject. Sorry, folks. When you first came into VR, I try to catch it while you're talking about you being in VR and everything else like this. What was the weirdest thing when you put your headgear on, or when you were a stiffy? That's what I call them. And you walked in and you're going, nope, I'm out of here. Nope, I'm out of here. Gotta go. I gotta get the
weirdest thing.
Experience. You got it. Yes.
Ooh. The weirdest thing I've ever probably seen. I just said no. Oh, that's a good question. There's so many. I've seen like so many like good things, bad things in like VR, in VRChat as a desktop user, and also just as a VR. Oh, I have to look. I have to very dig deep, but I had a experience once, I think, with the Ugandan knuckles, and I was like, oh well. And I was like,
Knuckles is
oh
back
jolly
in town,
god,
folks.
oh jolly god. I mean, hey, if they want to do it, it's fine. But I was like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm sorry. I just wanted peace and quiet.
Well, I've heard so much about the Ugandan Knuckles thing, but I've I came in just after it, but I hear so many people been here for a
Yeah.
while reference that exact meme.
Yeah. It's something. Sometimes I just bring it up maybe a little bit for fun. I mean, hey,
Mm.
they also just have their fun in their own ways, and I'm saying, hey, let them do whatever it wants. I mean, it's
Mm.
they have fun in their ways. Some people have fun in the other ways, and hey,
Mm.
I'm just leaving the people be how they want to be, and unless as long as everybody's good, I'm good.
That's a fair point. May I ask you
All
this?
right. Yeah.
What drew you here to
Sure.
VRChat and VR in the first place? Like, what made you want to come check this place out?
Oh, good question. I think I just saw a video or just like a video about VRChat because I know I joined around 2018, 19, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly when because God, my memories is a bit woozy. But yeah, I think it's 2018, 19. And I just thought I just probably saw a video. I was like, damn, this is so cool. You can explore so many people around the world and go into these different worlds where people where that people made, and it's just like astonishing to see what kind of possibilities they are. Just like my curiosity really sprung there. It's like this is just such an awesome place. And I was like, I gotta get in there. So I went in, and here I am now.
So, what were some of your first experiences here like? What are some of the first worlds you saw, and what made you want to stay?
Well, firstly, I was probably, at some very popular old school places. The Japan Shrine. There was also the open mic night, the OG one, Black Cat, the Pug, and all that stuff. And in the open mic, I saw like some very talented people because they went on the stage, even sung or just played some instruments. I was like, damn, this is so amazing. And I made some friends just like by talking, just like, hey, what's going on? What are you guys doing? And I had some friends. Made some friends there. I haven't seen them a long time, probably because they caught up on life. It's kind of sad, but that's how it goes on. Sometimes I still see them and try to go over and say hi if I have the chance. But yeah, but for now, I haven't seen those old friends for a long while. But I got some new friends, and which I'm also very confident with, which I love being around with, because with their energy, with their vibes they have, and the energy, and yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely understand staying for the people. It's one of the reasons why we stay ourselves, and you get to meet so many interesting characters. And as you said earlier, be able to meet all
Yeah.
these different people from all over the globe is, I say, one of the added benefits of VRChat. I will definitely agree with you there on that. Indeed.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I wasn't. I was just adding on top of your stuff. I didn't have anything more to say. I just wanted to say yes. What you were saying.
Well, if there's anything you want to say, feel free to run Raptor and I over to say what you want to say. Raptor and I do that to each other all the time. Just want to make sure that's done.
I don't like to talk over people. I sometimes it happens sometimes,
Damn.
but I try my best not to do that because it's even like in a stuff like this in the interview, it's best if I just wait until everybody has talked about their stuff.
That's very, very polite of you, but
We appreciate
feel
that
free
one.
to
we
feel
really
free to
appreciate it.
say what's on
But
your mind.
We do it all the time, so don't worry about tripping over me. It's okay. No
I can't
problem.
help it. Improv told me not to
Yeah.
do that. No.
Little ass is here again. Gotta get out of. Oh, hello, sir. Would you get off me? Yeah, we get that all the time.
Yep. So what kinds of things does it take for you guys to like set up a show? Like, for example, the meatball heist. How do you guys prepare for those kinds of things?
Also this for the skits. So in the Discord we have a forum where people can drop their ideas. If they have ideas for a skit, they can drop it there. So that's how Meatball Heist was actually born. Somebody had this idea. we grabbed it because it was just such a funny concept, and so we took it. We then put out an announcement for saying, okay, hey, we need 6 people for this skit that we're doing, and people then react to that, and we say, and then we look at the people that reacted, see, okay, yeah, these are definitely people that have done like great. They were already in shows. They show very a lot of, okay, I mean, I wouldn't say professionalism, but they got the gist of it, and they actually have the confidence to be at the camera and be there for it. And so we're then, of course, and say, okay, these. Then after like a week or so, we then say, okay, here's the cast for this movie, for this skit, and then we try to plan out the dates for the B-rolls. With a when to meet, of course, so we know exactly everybody's availability, so we can shoot, of course, then the roles. And then we edit once, of course, all this done, edit it, gets published, and that's done.
Wow. Do you guys do it generally in one take? May I ask?
Well, with Meatball Lord, it took a lot. We have been through Meatball Lord for like, oh my god, 3 months. It took us 3 months until we probably had it. We probably finally stopped it because, you know, availability issues happened this and there because of personal matters of other people and whatnot. But what we try to keep it down is probably have like a skit a month, so hopefully that a skit doesn't take more than 4 weeks, so like 1 day or 2 days per week, so like Saturday, Sunday. But we probably want to really see that it's probably in 2 weeks, but probably prefer, so we can, because editing also takes a lot of time. Maybe the editor has, you know, something else to do, and also busy. So 2 weeks is like recommended, but 4 weeks is 4 weeks is also fine, just so we can put it out at the end of the month.
That's actually really awesome to know. I think for some reason when you were saying your improv, I thought it'd be like, oh, we should do it all in one take, then edit it all together. I was completely wrong by that, and I appreciate the insight.
It's all good. I mean, we're currently we are doing one right now. I mean, it's already done. We're just waiting for the edit to be done, but it's gonna take a little bit while. So we're giving the editor all the time he needs for that. And yeah, we had to do. It was almost possible to do it in one take, but it was like I see some like issues there and there. So it's like, let's do a shoot of this and this. And well, file got corrupted for this one, so we need to redo that. So stuff like this can happen, and we probably need to do like reshoots of certain scenes or something, another shoot, because then we figured out something funny for the end that we added on to. It's going to be like a Christmas special. It's going to be amazing.
Oh. So how did this Christmas special
Nice
get
one.
born, may I ask?
Hello.
Oh. I broke that. It'll buff. If you're enjoying this, please, I would heavily suggest to follow us on any of our social media. If you go down in the thingamabob, down that way, we have a card, metaversedegen.card.co, with all our social media. Feel free to come follow us at any of those places. We've got Discord. We hang out there all the time. Feel free to come chat. Also, we have a Patreon with 2 people who joined up now, and I'm going to give them a little bit of a shout out. One of which is Training Fangs, who's a really good friend of ours, and Forbidden Zero, and also a good friend. So please come follow us. Come hang out. Oh. That's my cue to go. Enjoy the video. Like the concept of it anyway.
Well, somebody has made the suggestion of doing skit using improv games, and for this one we chose the improv game Superheroes, and you will then be seeing why. And then with the game Superheroes and how it goes, it's like one guy has a very ordinary problem, like an everyday problem everybody would have, and then 5 superheroes would try to fix the problem that this guy has, but only like 4 won't be able to do it, but only the last guy will then be able to do it, even with whatever means it's necessary, because even the skits are all improvised. We try to improvise everything, even the skits. There's no script behind this. Maybe there's like a premise, yes, but every line that the people say, improvised.
Wow. So it's kind of like a whose line is it anyway kind of vibe, at least with how it goes.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. We also take a lot of from Whose Line Is Anyway, improv games from there, and other shows as well. But yeah, improv and Whose Line Is Anyways is just great because they have so many shows, and the games that they present there are so funny and so great, and it's definitely something that we take inspiration of.
Oh, really? What may I ask? What kind of improv games are some of your favorites? May I ask that you've?
Oh, one of my favorites is one I've learned from another improv group I've seen on TikTok, which is like I call it. They didn't really have a name for it, but I like to call it time remote control. And what it is, basically, is like you can pause the scene for a second and say, "Hey, go back 30 seconds later," or go forward a day, and they then connect what happens then after or before that. And we even had a show which I have used this, and it was amazing. It was great. They were stuck inside of a whale, inside of a big ass whale, and they were like, of course, when they were going back, and it's like, oh my god, we're getting eaten by this whale, help! And then we go forward. It's like, oh no, we're gonna starve. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Oh.
And this is just so great. This is one of my favorites. And then there's also God, there's so many good ones. I can't really decide. But time remote control is definitely one of my top one. But then there's also there's one more, and which is questions only. And that is people can only talk in questions.
Mhm.
And it's also a very good game, and also a favorite one, because it can be funny to just see people fail to do a question after another question. It's just so funny. It's like, oh, do you know where it is? It's like, no, and then they just leave the stage. It's just a great little concept. I just love it. So yeah, this is probably questions only and time remote control. Definitely one of my favorites.
I definitely remember seeing like the questions thing on Whose Line a few times, and it's a hilarious thing to try and see and watch.
It is indeed. It is indeed, yeah.
So, what have been some of your favorites skits you've done over the last year?
Well, seeing we've only done 2 so far, and the third one in the making, definitely the meatball heist is my favorite, and so but probably everybody else would say this is their favorite because we only had these 2, so yeah.
So I do have a bit of a question. So you guys do a lot of improv workshops for people. What made you as a community wanted to pick up skits, like little films and skits to do? May I ask?
Well, to be honest, on something that I had forgotten is like Skits and Bits was kind of secretly already before the disappearance of GIE, because we know something was going on, and so me and some background friends have already made that. So what we did is we did a skit first, which is the dream jobs, which are people that say that work at a place and have this particular job, but it's not the job that you would think that people would actually have for an interview, which is very great. I played a role there. I was a photographer that was taking picture of chicks, and you would saying, oh, probably like supermodels. No, literally chickens. I was photographing chickens. I was a chicken photographer. It is great. So that's how it came with like skits and bits, because we were making skits that were in a bit, and once of course GIE has disbanded, we was like, okay, let's make skits and bits an improv community. but also not just an improv community, but also a hub for other people that have improv communities. Because we also have other people from we have also other improv communities out there. We have Improvatars, and Improv Night. There are also some others, and they sometimes promote themselves because we allow them to promote that, because we want other people to say, hey, look, there's another improv community there. You should probably check them out and see what they do. But I think these more are show-based rather than workshop. I think Improv Nights does workshops, if I remember correctly. I haven't really watched them myself because time zones kind of suck. I live in Europe, so I'm like I can't always attend everything that they're doing. Sometimes they're in times where I'm actually already doing something or I'm asleep, so I have to miss out on that stuff, which is kind of sad. But yeah.
That's a very
Now I just want chicken soup.
You want chicken soup. Well, we got lots of variety of soup because Skits and Bits is all about soup, because we have our soup. I mean, we
That's what,
we got
when
a
you
soup
said chickens and I looked over and saw the spoon and I went, yep, chicken soup. Now I want fucking chicken soup for lunch.
We got lots of soup. We got every soup you can imagine.
So, did you have any experience with improv and skits of that nature in real life? Or is this like in VRChat was the first time you kind of jumped into it?
Definitely, VR was definitely the first time where I jumped into like improv and skits. Sure, I've done like school theaters. I've done like stuff like that, and which was also kind of fun. And I've done some I've done like one improvising line, and when I did that, people were like, "Hey, that was a pretty good improvised line. Good job." I was like, "Okay, well." I don't like to boast a lot, but I was feeling pretty proud of me in that moment. Because I was very nervous. I was very nervous because I didn't have improv skills at all, so I was sweating bullets at that time.
I can only imagine how when you're nervous doing things like theater, improvised skits, or anything of that nature. How do you get over the jitters for yourself?
It's definitely just keep on doing it, keep on doing it, keep on doing it, and one time it just flies by, and you can just use your imagination, saying, "Hey, I just imagine myself alone in a room with this person that I'm having a bit with right now on stage. Just like these audience, they're not even there, non-existent. They're just blacked out. But even then, sometimes I still hear the laughter, and sometimes even when I'm hosting, I still get the jitters because, of course, I want everybody to have a nice experience, to have fun." And that I'm also, of course, doing a great job. It still happens, even as a veteran. These jitters can happen, and don't be afraid if you have them. That's totally normal. That's just what we humans are, of course.
Yeah. Time and experience is always the best teacher. And I do very much agree with you on that one. How long did it take you to get more used to all of what you do?
Oh, that's a very good question. I would probably say definitely a year or two. I'm gonna give like a ballpark of like that year or two. Definitely, it really depends on the person, but I would say a year or two for me. Really, yeah.
Oh wow. Once you've gone into the community and within the year or two you've been doing it, what kinds of things have you learned, and what would have been the hardest ones for you to pick up?
Definitely, a lot of people learn is not saying no to your scene partner, because that can sometimes stop the scene, and then the other part and the other partner can then doesn't know how to progress. If I block him on something, an idea that they had, and then they say no, then like, oh damn, now it's out of the window. What do we do? But sometimes it can flow. It really depends on how this premises work. You can't probably say no, but it's always better to say yes. That's a big part of improv is yes and. So always say yes and heighten around that. Go further explore that idea that you and your partner have. Go beyond. Go big.
Hmm.
And also something else is um, avoiding gagging. So gagging means like picking up stuff from like memes or shows you've picked up from like for your favorite shows. Yes, it might bring out the laugh, but is it then really natural? You know, it doesn't really come from yours. It doesn't. Improv doesn't have to be funny. It can be exciting. It can be thrilling. It can be everything. It doesn't just involve comedy. It can just be also an adventure, and it's also something. And there's also waffling, which is repeating something's the same thing over and over again. We had like a workshop on that, on like blocking on like different levels,
Hmm.
and that is an amazing workshop that was brought over by Skyman, which is one of our hosts, and it was an amazing experience to teach the other guys and even myself, because I was able to see then all these different kind of things on how to block your partner for a scene.
Hmm. So what are some of the methods used for prevention of waffling or repeating yourself that you guys taught?
There's really not a prevention method. It's just about um, noticing yourself or saying, "Hey, this is what you did," or like somebody from us, the team leads or the hosts. Because we have like team leads and other people like if the team leads say, "Okay, look, this guy was a bit waffling, or he blocked with this kind of method," we bring that over and say, "Hey, look at this. This is how you do it. Avoid to do that. I know it takes a lot. But this is mistakes that we made, of course. And as I said, mistakes are fine to make because we learn from them, and then we can say, okay, this is how I should avoid it in the next time. I try to less do this and that. And this is definitely just again time and participation, just like time and being present for those workshops to
Hmm.
be able to then learn how to really stop blocking your partner.
Hmm. So with some of those things like waffling, repeating yourself, and blocking of, what are some of the common mistakes new people have that you've experienced and seen?
Um, there's a lot of mistake. I don't say. I know they're probably not doing on so mistakes are just like taking repeating different kind of like I want to say that I don't see like a lot of people doing mistakes, but sometimes I can really see like they're nervous. Of course, when you're nervous, then your brain starts to like have these thoughts. Okay, what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna say, and that can also sometimes lead the scene to a stop, because then they're then like in these thoughts of what they want to say, and we really want to give people the time for that. So we say, hey, if we see that this is happening, say, hey, I see that you're having a little bit of a hard time. How about you step back a little bit? You can try again maybe the next time.
Hmm.
So we take and give them a little bit of breathing room. Or
Hmm.
say, hey, take a breather, think about it slowly. You don't have, this is okay, you know, they're new. So we give them the time for that so they can really learn.
Hmm. Those are some very good points. For new beginners, where would you suggest some people start if they're new and wanting to get into improv?
Well, of course, I wouldn't say here because, as said before, we teach in a very beginner-friendly manner that teaches a lot of themes. Like we talk about physicality, the establishing a base reality, building character, heightening scenes, and there's like so much themes that we can go on. Even like with the being present, active listening, and all that stuff. Because listening is also a very basic factor. Because if you're not present and not listening to what your partner says, or the people on the stage, then you don't know how to progress the story, or the story of the scene that is happening.
Hmm. Also, that last bit you've made is also a really good point in conversation with people as well. If you're not listening to what they're saying, you can't be, as you said, present in that moment. So it's a really good
Hmm.
thing to, I guess, teach people as well that exact thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Being present is one of the many benefactors of improv. Yeah.
Hmm. So you mentioned earlier that classes on helping people heighten scenes. How would one do that? What are some of the things you teach in that?
Definitely. So how does go? There's one game called Oscar Moment, and an Oscar Moment in this is like really heightening on an emotional level, saying like it's like, hey, you forgot to do this. It's like, you're right. Shit, I'm sorry. And then like, ah, but then we say Oscar Moment, and they're like, I am so sorry. I should have remembered this. Ah. I've let down you, my friend. How could I've ever forgotten such an important thing in my life? I hope you
Mm.
can forgive me. Just like go higher. Don't just like so we making them go higher with that stuff, kind of that. So like talk more, not just like one sentence. Just go further beyond with it.
Hmm. So is that is that something that that's people of the newer class or those you've taught? Is that something can easily jump into as well? That specific thing, like heightening when they're speaking.
Heightening definitely takes a lot of practice as well, because they will be making mistakes, which is fine, of course. But we really try to explain it to them, and also with examples, of course, and how it works, so they can see, okay, this is how it works. This is what they want to see, and so we explain it on a very basic level so that everybody understands. If somebody not doesn't understand something, they can always ask, and we are happy always to have the people that ask and have these questions, because we can then further explain like what the meaning of it is, how it functions, and how you do it really. And even with the explanations, they get to really see and get the picture in their head. It's like, okay, this is how it's supposed to go.
Hmm. Okay. So I have another question in terms of like your classes. Among the people who
Hmm.
attend your courses, what have been some of the favorite methods you use from them within your courses for improv?
With methods, do you mean like the themes that we establish?
Yeah, well, themes, maybe certain things you do to help coax people into getting comfortable or getting better at improv,
Hmm.
stuff of that nature. Is there anything you
Yeah.
found from your students, I guess is a way to put it, that you do to help
Hmm.
them in your with your various courses and themes?
Well, yeah. Before we really start, sometimes with the actual games, what we do is like we do a warm up that has that is important. Well, that builds within the theme. So like we have like Zip Zap Zob, we have Frisbee Wizards, which is one. The Frisbee Wizards is a very good one for active listening, because and also being present as well. Because what you do, you have to say Frisbee Wizards, Misty Vistas, or I forgot the third one again, and um, they have to then say something. So if you point on the left, they say the one sentence. If you point at the right, they say the other. You have to say the other sentence, and if you point across, you have to say the other. So
Hmm.
it's being present as well. So they see, okay, they also get already like a image of that. It's okay. This is how it works with being present. So for this and this, because warm ups really help getting into these games afterwards, because they also get the idea of what this theme is all about. And with these themes, we have, of course, one of like the really beginner themes is yes and, which in yes and is of course really very big fundament, because without yes anding, again, this if you always have to say yes and, as I've said before, and teaching them yes and gives them also a level, say, okay, this is how I continue a scene. So because there's also a game called Yes and, which they make a scene, they say something, and then the other son says yes and then they build on top of what their partner has said.
Hmm. Okay. So with All right. Nope. Sorry, brain fart. I apologize.
Oh no, it's all good. It's
No,
all
no,
good.
no.
Take your time. Take your
No.
time.
It's I have those moments. I do feel bad during those interviews when we have them, and I'm one of those people that does not edit videos because when I do
No
these with
worries.
you, I want the conversation itself to feel genuine. I don't want to feel like you see the jumps and cuts and transitions, and you don't really get to know the person. So I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel bad because I feel like I'm wasting time, especially yours.
Oh, I have enough of time. This is all good.
um, so what made you guys want to pick up the improv classes over or with the skits when you were kind of figuring out your identity when you left the last group?
Well, I said before, since people wanted to still continue improv and have these workshops, so we had this like first little kind of like meeting saying like how we want to build skits and bits, what they wanted to expect, what were their ideas, and we had our first workshop, I think like in a span of like 2 weeks or so after like we really established it, and it's the workshops were people's favorite things about the last group. So we inherited that as well for that as well because it's like yeah, these improv workshops were amazing. Let's take these as well, make it with our own community, skits and bits.
Hmm. Was there anything you've learned from that previous group that you took with you to Skits and Bits?
Um, Definitely just a lot of lessons that I've learned from like improv itself, and like I got your back and all that stuff, and kind of like what are like the do's and don'ts, what can we do better than the other one, what's like um from like GIE, how can we improve these kind of things of qualities and build upon on these, because we wanted to make Skits and Bits a great experience for everybody, and we even have like a feedback form for people to provide feedback if they have anything to say about it, like hey, this is great, but maybe do a bit more of this, maybe you should implement that, and we try then to get these kind of feedbacks and say, and then gather them around with the other people from the other staff and say, hey, we've got this kind of feedback. What do you guys think? Is this like a no, a yes? And we should have like this. Then we gotta have like a big discussion about it. Even chat, or even we make a VC in Discord, and then it gets then says, okay, maybe we should establish this things, and maybe this, maybe not, and yeah.
Hmm. So you guys are heavy in community building within your own community as well, not just providing what you
Exactly.
provide.
Exactly, because we really want this for the community, by the community kind of thing.
Hmm. That makes a lot of sense, especially since improv is more than just yourself. It's amazing you guys put that level of effort into your own community as well. It's good to see. At least from my standpoint, I enjoy
Yeah.
seeing those moments.
No, I also definitely see that by myself, because without the community that we have, we wouldn't have gotten this far at all. So me and everybody else from the staff, and probably the community itself, is grateful for everybody and each other for what we reached so far.
Hmm. Very much so. What kinds of things does it take to run your community with your staff? How did you guys pick that up in order to run efficiently?
Well, we first so yeah, me, Swal, and Zircron were the founders, because we were both really passionate about, and then we also then established, and what we wanted to do differently is have multiple hosts, because if we only have one host, that can lead to burnouts. It's like, okay, we're going to establish multiple hosts so that burnout is something that can fly, so everybody can like chill, or just be a team lead, or just participate themselves, because sometimes the teacher can learn from the other teachers as well, which is great. You can see then how they teach in from their perspective, because everybody has like other and different ways on how to say these kind of things. And we then also handpick then people with like team leaders as well, but we also have an application, so if people are like investors like, hey, I want to be a team lead, so it was like, yeah, that's sure. So we picked some like a lot of people from GIE, a few people from there, saying like, yeah, these have like they have done team leading, or they're also interested in team leading. We have got an application for those. What do you think of like the other teachers or these guys as a host, because we know they've shown their abilities to host and they have the confidence for that as well.
That's actually really awesome to hear all of that. How do you include your staff in a lot of your events, and how you manage Skits and Bits, may I ask?
Well, we have different channels for like different staff, because we have like the founder chat, the host chat, and the team lead chat, which is like everybody is around. And then also one that's for the planning of the workshop itself. So there's the team lead. So there's like the host there himself. So for like very big stuff, for like collabs, we first like go with the hosts together, saying, "Hey, look, this is happening," or "Hey, they've reached out with a collab. What is your guys' standpoint?" It's like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then we go down with the team leads, mostly just for the workshops. It's just mostly for the team leads. Or if you have like a collab workshop, saying, "Hey, team leads, we have a collab with these guys for a workshop. Is anybody available?" And then they raise their hands if they are available in this time and day. So it goes like from like up and down all the time, really manageable.
That's really cool to hear. How with outside as well with the community, is there any way you include them in your events and stuff, other than like attending the skits and courses?
Well, of course, then we have, of course, then the shows, when we say just like, hey, if you're the other attendees that are here, hey, if you want to have a show, you can sign up on the show, and we then pick people then that we really see they attend a lot. So we're saying like 2 months, they've been consecutively 2 months there. We say that they got the hangs of it and they want to be there, and then we say, okay, yes, we can take them in the show. And we definitely probably want to expand further, but probably have to still sit and talk about how we can probably involve the community more in like other things. But we'll definitely have to wait and see for that in the future.
So have you guys done any talks about expansion? May I ask, like, what kinds of things have been mentioned, and where would you like Skits and Bits to go yourself?
Well, what we noticed, we also have like other staff right now, because we make skits, so we need like video editors. So we implemented more roles. We have video editor, we have community manager, we have one for community managers, we have for the skit teams. For the skit team, so like skits filming, or just being an assistant. And also for just for the shows and workshops, we have the ushers, which are just like people that are in front of the door, and they explain late joiners if they come late, saying, hey, this is a workshop about this theme, would you like to just watch or participate? And then and if they want to participate, the usher then guides them to a room that has lesser people than the others, because we have like a little count thing. We can then see, okay, they can see then the counts, like, okay, this many people are in this room, this many people in this room, so let's shove you in this one, so that it's a bit equaled out in there. And with the expansion, I really want to see Skits and Bits. It's just like keep being a for the community by community thing, and hopefully achieve even more collabs with other communities. Maybe, who knows, maybe TVRs is gonna hook us up another time next year, who knows. And a lot of mysteries can happen, so I'm really just looking forward of the future, what it really takes us, and that Skits and Bits gets better as a community and gets more out there, because it's great, and people should really get a grasp of improv and enjoy more of it, because it's a really great thing to do. For me, at least, in my standpoint.
Well, I genuinely wish you all the best in Skits and Bits, and I would personally like to see what kinds of cool things myself you guys do. Especially, one of these days I have to go see what you guys do myself so I can see it with my own eyes. Fortunately, I live under a rock a lot of the time, but it's awesome to see improv communities and filming communities here in VR. Seeing all the things you could do, I enjoy seeing them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
No problem. What are some of the next steps you're going to take to achieve what you want to see Skits and Bits become?
Definitely lots of hosts meeting with like different ideas of what they bring and just the feedback that the community brings with us, really. And that's definitely it, because like people have like lots of ideas that they just like want to give in a table, so we want to listen to these and give them a chance. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate getting to meet you here. Is there anywhere people can find you, if they wish to find you?
Well, of course. Yes, you can find us. You guys can join the Discord at discord.gg/skitsnbits. That's so skits n bits. Or you can also just hop over to our, you can also find us in our YouTube. We also have, you can also find there all of our skits and also all of our show VODs if you want to see them. And that's definitely there. We also are on TikTok. We're trying to expand a bit more on social media, TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot. That's still in progress and all this stuff. But yeah, mainly Discord. We have a lot of information about us there.
Thanks all for joining us today. Wish you have a good rest of your day. Bye now. Beep, boop, bop, boop, beep. Hello everyone, this is just going to be a really small teaser for a show we started on Patreon. Just right after this little intro, it's going to be a bi-weekly show. We'll be talking about various things, conspiracies, fun conversations, maybe weird history, things like that. The first episode should be up on our Patreon now. It'll be open to everybody without a paywall, the first episode anyway. Every episode preceding that will be, well, behind the Patreon wall, but for you to see what kinds of things going on, please feel free to go over there, check it out. It's right within our card, metaversedegen.card.co. That's card with 2 R's. And thank you very much to some of our Patreon subscribers, which is going to be Training Fangs and Forbidden Zero. Please enjoy.
I believe that aliens have been here and everything else like this. It just slowly, it's like letting the air out of a balloon. You know, you just let a little at a time, because if you lay it out on the table, water's water, right? You understand that. But when you understand something that you've never seen and only get a glimpse, it's just like every creature that's people have seen or something like this, no matter what it is. If you don't have physical proof or have more than 3 people to prove that they saw the same thing you are, and everything else like this, because you got to realize, you go back in history, we didn't have cell phones, and not everybody had a camera to carry around going, look what I saw. You know, it's a different story. Not everybody carries cameras back then. Now everybody's got a cell phone or had a camera, all this kind of stuff. Everything leaks out in a little bit at a time. So people, but your question, yes, I believe that there's other life forms besides us here.
So,
no matter how far out it is or what.
My thoughts on aliens is I do believe they
exist. What about
you? I do believe they exist, but I'm a lot more skeptical. I don't think a lot of the sightings people claim are out there are as genuine as a lot of the community may think they are. I think maybe 98% of it is just people trying to share a story or hoping they exist. You know, a lot of the time when things go about it, people want to take part. A lot of people fabricate a whole lot of things just to say, look, I'm a part of it too, to some degree. And I think a lot of it may be that. Stories, self-embellishing, a lot of those things. Now, in terms of like our position as a human race and aliens,